My name is Meghan Liese. I work at HashiCorp, and over the last few years, I've had the chance to talk with some of the world's largest and most complex organizations. And as they're navigating their way to this multi-cloud, hybrid cloud world where there are tons of external services that they need to incorporate into their environments, there is a common theme that comes up, and that is really, what is this operating model, this cloud operating model that I need to put into place to really enable my organization to embrace all the offerings out there? And so then the natural next question is, what are the phases to actually implement this cloud operating model? And then the final one is, okay, where am I today? Each organization has to ask that question themselves. And how do I take the steps to get going down this path? So before we get too far into what the journey is, we have to kind of establish what's changed for our model. And there's really two key things. What we did before is we had a private data center, and it was relatively static and homogeneous. And now we're moving to a model where you have multiple clouds, and you might still have your private data center, or maybe it's a private cloud, and now you're embracing AWS and Azure and maybe GCP and Alibaba and whatever those other services or cloud providers might be. And that now means that we have a multi-cloud model across multiple data centers. It's heterogeneous, it's dynamic, and it's distributed across multiple environments. So that's the infrastructure layer. And then you fast forward and you kind of have another thing taking place, and that's really around kind of this DevOps influence, where it's now, how do I take this infrastructure that's distributed, heterogeneous, and dynamic, and how do I create a pool of that that is available to multiple teams within my organization? And those are really the two distinct challenges that every organization out there has as they try and figure out what that cloud operating model is and how they can put something in place to achieve it. So there's really two things that are changing that we're trying to address, and that is around the heterogeneity of the infrastructure providers. So we have the private cloud, AWS, Azure, GCP, and all of these different cloud providers, and they each have their own individual API that we have to interface with. And then there's the piece around the requests coming in through the developers. So one request might be, hey, can you spin up 1,000 instances on AWS every day morning to run our applications? And another one might be, could you spin up 300 instances with the various networking services on Azure 3 times per day? And so how does the operations team keep up with the pace of all of these requirements? So there's really 3 things we're solving for, and that is that of scale, how do I keep up with it? That of the heterogeneity of the various infrastructure providers, and then making the infrastructure self-service up to our developers. So let's bring it back to what we said in the beginning. What is the cloud operating model? So if you don't do anything and you kind of just go with the status quo, your cloud operating model will look like this. I use some type of VMware management for my private data center where I run my VMware. And then I adopted AWS, so maybe I use their portal or their cloud formations to provide some sense of automation to address that scale element. And then I adopt Azure and I start using ARM templates. And then I adopt maybe GCP or Alibaba or any other type of infrastructure provider, and I have to then adopt what their independent automation or management portal is. And with each of these, because remember we're dealing with individual APIs for each of the providers, I generally need a team then that has the expertise to actually use that infrastructure. And so from an operator standpoint, I now have individual operations teams for each of those cloud providers with a long on-ramp of 6, 18 months, something like that. And at the end result, none of these teams can actually leverage the work of each other or have a cohesive sense for the infrastructure that's being provisioned. So what I end up with is very siloed work across multiple different infrastructure providers that then ultimately just requires another layer of abstraction so I can provide it then to the developers. So this is an incredibly complex model. And as we talk to hundreds of these large, complex, and global enterprises, they've come to the same conclusion. There has to be a better operating model for adopting a new infrastructure provider. That it can't take 18 to 24 months to onboard a new cloud or a new service provider, because that's not going to meet our business needs. At HashiCorp, we believe the same thing. We believe adopting any cloud, infrastructure, or service should be safe, efficient, and as simple as a few lines of code. To simplify that operating model, we have created HashiCorp Terraform, and it aligns with the 3 core principles of HashiCorp products in general. Automation through codification, so you codify your infrastructure. Workflows, not technology. We provide one provisioning workflow with Terraform, so it works for all of your infrastructure. You could be using AWS, Azure, GCP, or any variety of other external services, and you can use that Terraform workflow to both provision and manage that infrastructure. And then the third part is really about open and extensibility. And that's the ability to be able to incorporate any type of infrastructure into your environment at any time. So we have over 125 different providers that cover a broad set of common infrastructure that people are using. So these are all the things that all of those organizations we've been talking to use. But then there's also the ability to extend to new providers at any time. That if you want to create a customer provider, you can do that. Or if new technology comes about in, say, a year or 2 years, you can create a provider so that you can interact with that technology as well. All providers work on an API basis, so Terraform's talking directly to the API and preserving the uniqueness of all of the different infrastructure types. So organizations that want to get started with Terraform often ask, how do I get started? And what is the right journey to take to go from new with Terraform to running it as a shared service across my organization? And those are kind of the 2 ends of that journey. So there's really 4 phases that we see organizations in. And the first phase is how you get started. And that's downloading open source and using Terraform to codify configurations in a single cloud. And this might be for 1 or 2 applications. After organizations kind of master that phase, you move on to phase 2, which is really now, how do I take that workflow that I applied to my first cloud, which is maybe AWS, and extend that to Azure, and then maybe also your VMware environment. So in phase 2, you've gone from a single cloud where you codified the environment to run some applications, to now being able to codify your configurations across maybe 3 different environments that are distributed with one single workflow and leveraging the work of just one team. Now as organizations go from, hey, I've got kind of an operations team and they've effectively created some configurations that span 3 different cloud providers or 3 different environments, how do I go where I can scale that team of operators? Because, hey, this is working. It's a simple workflow. I'm able to onboard other infrastructure. So now how do I enter phase 3 where I start incorporating more teams into the work I'm doing? So now in phase 3, it becomes kind of a different set of challenges. Remember, in phase 2 was all about kind of democratizing multiple cloud across the organization. And what that did is it enabled all the operators and a lot of developers to actually leverage Terraform open source to just codify their infrastructure and be able to provision. So now as you enter into phase 3, it's how do I make sure that the organization as a whole is able to collaborate and leverage each other's work so that they can all safely and efficiently provision the infrastructure they need. So now we move into phase 4. And in phase 3, we were enabling collaboration or teams to work together in a way that they could leverage the work of each other. And now in phase 4, it's really about monopolizing on that automation, but also putting the right guardrails in place so that we can safely and efficiently provision across any different cloud and at scale. And so what that means now is we're going to embed the policy as code into our provisioning workflow. And we do that with Sentinel policy as code management that is part of the Terraform Enterprise product. And that, therefore, gives us the automation to both enforce governance and policy at every step of the way. So let's recap back around the 3 questions. The first one is the cloud operating model. And that's really building a consistent model around our challenges of scale, heterogeneity, and enabling our developers. The second one is in what is that journey for me to put my cloud operating model into play? So how do I go from phase 1, where it's one cloud, to phase 2, where it's multi-cloud? Then phase 3, where my organization starts to be able to provision at scale and collaborate and leverage the work of each other. And then that final phase 4, where you start putting the guardrails in place with governance and your policies. So that final third question then is, how do I get started today, no matter which organization you are? And that's really about identifying which phase you are at in the journey and then what you need to do to get to that next stage. It's always moving you forward. So in truth, we've been talking to a lot of organizations, right, over the years. And the reality is every organization is completely different, and they're different in their journey. So to get started for you, you can reach out to us, and we'd be happy to help you figure out where you are in the journey and what the next best steps are for you. And if you'd just like to learn more, check out our online resources at HashiCorp.com.